YouTube. How are you doing? How are you doing? It is a Friday, the final day before the weekend, and price is giving us some action. You love to see it. You love to see it. Now that price hit the point of control at 38.7k, I was like, you know what? I think it's a good time to go live because I have some new stuff to tell. So, what's up? How are you doing? Did you make some profit on this move, or did you not? Or are you looking for shorts, or like what's up? What do you think the weekend is gonna bring? A typical weekend range or some volatility maybe? Lucas, good afternoon. First on the treadmill and in the chat. I expect nothing less anymore, right? He's always on the treadmill. QZ World, how are you today? I'm doing very well, thanks. A good day, sun shining in the Netherlands as well. It's still fresh, but it's not a typical winter day here, you know, like, so that's already upping the mood, but also we finally got the move to the upside as well, right? Medium time frame, low time frame probabilities were, you know, constantly higher to move to the upside. We finally got the move. In the morning video, I spoke about the micro, like continue ranging or up, and I was like, I don't really like to go against the bullish CVD divergences, right? So it was like, yeah, 50, like, yeah, but you know, price kept pushing, kept building bullish CVD, and we got it. So that's perfectly fine. That's exactly, we were looking for eventually taking those highs. We now took it, but we also hit that red line. So that is interesting. Farshad Farouk, second, 1, 2, third, unfortunately today, but you were quick. What's up? How are you doing? Sabu Katan, good day, sir. Watching here from the Philippines. I really have to visit the Philippines once. Like, by the way, and Tim knows, one of our friends is gonna marry in March as well, and he and his now fiance, soon-to-be wife, are thinking about the Philippines as their honeymoon. So hey, you might get another Dutchie there. Tim, what's up? That's Tim, by the way. So our friend. Good morning, Jen. How you doing? Jen Hardle. Philip, what's up, guys? TP1 hit on the scalp. Short hedge position in place. That is very nice. Good trading. You had some solid resistance there, especially for a scalp. If you are, if you have the discipline and the plan to have a quick TP1, it's always worth it. No, like it's worth seeing if you can enter a quick little short. So yeah, that's perfectly fine. TP1 probably position at all time already a break even, if not a winner, right? If it goes down, you got to win. If it stops you out, probably break even. What does the red line stand for? It's the point of control of 2021, which basically means in the year 2021, the whole range we had between 30 and 60k, the highest volume. How can I explain this? The most traded level from a volume perspective, so I shouldn't say most traded, the level with the highest volume traded in that range of 2021 was 38.7k. I can show you how to get it on your chart, so I'll show that in a second. I also have a video on YouTube, by the way, about point of controls. You can find it if you look on my channel, and you go to you search on my channel for naked, you will find that video. Ersin, hi, how you doing? Philip 100, perfect. Tim Boerboom, most people jumping in. No, it's just like the so let me actually quickly show before we go into Elliott waves. It is, you use the volume profile, you drag it from the left to the right, and there you go. There's your red line. So in this area, right, the most volume in this area was at 38.7k. So not necessarily the most amount of trades, as in trading frequency, but the most volume has been traded at this range, which therefore makes it an important support resistance level. So that is what the red line represents, and the blue line up and down are value area high and low Depends a little bit on the time frame and how you pull it exactly, but generally the value area low here was nicely respected as well. So, and now we also hit the point of control very nicely, right? Perfect. It's very, very nice. So what we're going to do in this stream, everyone, is we're going to start with Elliott Waves. I want to start on the medium time frame because I have a bullish scenario and a bearish one. Previously in, I don't know, a couple of videos ago, I only had to quote unquote that I now call bearish one, even though you were still looking for upside. But I now got another one, which I think is relevant, especially the other one is one that I thought of because of the beginning we had over here. So I'll show you that one. It's here in the folder. So that's a new one. I also want to talk about this one once more. And if you haven't seen this folder yet in previous videos, I think the last time I showed this one is a couple of days ago. We'll cover that. And yeah, we just go through medium time frame. We go through this range here, what I'm looking for locally as well, right? And yeah, then we're going to get into the chatting section of the stream, which is always fun. How you doing, Daywalt? How's life on the other side of the world? I'll be there soon again in March. Pop Alive, what's up? How you doing, man? Good to have you here again. Always there. Matthew, how do you identify where to start and finish the range for that indicator? It's the range, right? So it's the beginning of the range and the end of the range, and then you have the breakout. So, for example, this, actually, so your range is here, or actually a bit longer, right? This is your range before it breaks out. Your order block, support, and then this is your breakout candle, so you don't want to count that one. So then this is your range here. You had another range here, right? So it's just the range, and you can do many different pools, but generally you just take the range before it breaks out, right? Like arguably this already should not be counted anymore because it now went below the white box. So range wise, it might be here like this, something like. There's different pools that one can do to find certain point of controls and stuff, of course, but it's most used for ranges, or you can also use it for impulses to see if volume is following price to the upside. As usually, once you get into wave 4 territory, you want the point of control to move up to a wave 4. Probably wait. So here the most volume is in the second 2. So you can see actually during this whole move to the upside, the most volume was traded here. You can see we have a big volume gap as well, can act as support in this area, right? Which is on top of the big support resistance area, value area low as well. Yeah, you tend to use it more for ranges. So whenever I talk about point of controls, it's volume related. So, okay, let's go through Elliott Waves now. I always thought of the point of control as the most popular price from a volume perspective. Yeah, it's where most volume has been traded. Yeah. So, but volume doesn't mean retail institutional, it just means most volume generally. So not like most people have traded that level, it's just most volume. The fear and greed is at 71. Yeah, and that's where the new bullish scenario might kick in. What's up, Card Crypto? How you doing? All good, Matthew. All good. And I also have a video on volume profiles. If you go to my YouTube channel, go to the videos, click on the little icon, right, and then look for naked. You don't find Peggy 18 content. You'll find the volume profile video. I get a Discord ping. There you go. Okay, I'm going to move you to my second screen. We're going to jump in. We're going to jump into Elliott Waves, medium time frame first. And am I going to clean up the... Oh, yeah, just quickly, these are the levels that I keep an eye on. So, you know, you can use it, just so you know. And I'm now going to turn them off to clean it up. There we go. First things first. it is very common for an impulse to have the structure that we see over here. You have a ranging start, you get a big push, that's usually your wave 3, no? And you get a ranging end where you indeed want to see volume going down as price is grinding to the upside, right? That's typical 4-5 behavior as well. Now, of course, people often now come into the chat and say, hey, this looks very much like November 2020, which of course also had like a grinding range to the upside, eventually a bit of a drop, and then it lifts off. It's just a very shallow corrective wave 2 and then a continuation. So of course that's a possibility, but at the moment, right over here, your volume is relatively stable, volume moves up, and now your volume is decreasing. That's typical behavior for an impulse. In a couple of 1-2s, you get your big 3, and then you get a couple of 4-5s. This is a very, very typical impulsive behavior like structure. Okay, not necessarily Elliott wave related, but in some way it is. This is the bearish scenario. So the bullish scenario is the new one. I'll show you that one in a second. So here we are looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this particular scenario, your wave 4 is finished. You're going to look for a 5, where the most common target for a wave 5 is between the 1.236 and a 1.618, between 38.7, 40k, taken from the highest to the lowest point, highest wave 3, lowest wave 4. And as you can now see as well, the 1.236 has been hit, which is the same level as the point of control basically that we had, right? Which is, let me turn it on the chart again, that red line. So that's in confluence with one another, no? And after a wave 5, you expect to move to the downside. Now this wave 5 can of course extend. The target area is quite big, maximum target 43.7k in this particular scenario, with the 0.618, which you take from the low of 1 to the high of 3 to the lowest point of wave 4. That's how you got to this level here, which is of course quite high. At the moment, there is no signs to immediately pump to this level over here, but we'll get to the lower time frames. The more bullish scenario is this. And in this particular case, I labeled multiple 1-2s here in a little bit more detail, which I used to do this many videos like a couple of weeks back. But here we have again 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, arguably here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sideways corrective structure and 4, 5, finishing blue 3, potential corrective 4 in a zigzag here. And then we have the diagonal in a wave 5 ending green 3. Then you're going to be looking for corrective structure in 4 before another move 5. And then after the 5 you go down. Now in this particular scenario, wave 5 can actually be like even higher than 43.7k, right? So in the bearish scenario, that would be your max target. But in the bullish scenario, this wave 5 can easily go higher to maybe even 45.50k, where we also have very important resistance at these levels, right? 45.50k is an important area. Around 48k, we have the value area high of this volume profile as well, over here. 49.5 to be exact, right? So that's an important level on the chart, absolutely. But in this case, you could expect a 4 and then another 5 to the upside. It's quite like going all the way to 50 is quite a big push. Then preferably this wave 3 should actually go higher as well, because a 10k wave 5 compared to your wave 1 that you have over here, you know, if a wave 3 is very extended, wave 5 rarely is extended. So, but it just means that in this scenario, your wave 5 could go higher than the 43.6. So this is the bullish scenario here, where if I turn the volume off, we are then looking, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, eventually a wave 5. You're grinding diagonal structure over here, which we'll zoom into in a second. High of a potential 3, looking for 4. Now we are not sure if this is the high of your wave 3 here. Actually, I personally think this is not yet the high. We might go at least a little bit higher still. If we look at the resistance levels, we got a weekly naked point of control here at 39k, right? That's important resistance. Monthly naked point of control at 4400. So that is, oh, wait a second. That is important resistance as well. Of course, we have the point of control that we hit now. We also have a daily here, but I like the volume levels more in this area. over here. So there's definitely an area of resistance here. Now, of course, in this scenario, we are then looking for eventually a retracement in a wave 4, where the fibs are taken from the green 2 to the green 3 high, which, you know, I now put these fibs on the weekly naked point of control at 39K, which, you know, is basically, I made a little drawing. Let me quickly have a look here. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so a potential little drawing, we go into the low time frame in a second, would be like hit the weekly naked point of control and then potentially reject, right? And also currently the highest volume is in this candle, so preferably you see a bit of a 4 and a 5 up still. But eventually in this scenario, you would expect a bit of a retracement, and then 36K to 32.5K is the area of interest. There's lots of liquidity over here, and also a lot of support areas as well. Weekly naked point of control 35,450, a fresh new monthly naked point of control of the previous month at 37K as well. Now the higher this wave 3 goes, the higher these fibs will go as well, right? So we have to wait for a high to be made, but there's definitely a couple of interesting support levels, couple of dailies here as well in that same area. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting scenario to then break the point of control and at least move up temporarily before after then a wave 5 is in and we expect to move down. Now the higher we go, if we do go towards like the 50K eventually, that's far-fetched at the moment, this becomes important support, of course. So this is a very interesting scenario indeed. So if we go to the lower time frames, then this is the ending diagonal scenario, right? Showed this morning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. All of the waves in an ending diagonal. I actually got, I don't know if Davey is here, but Davey, if you are here, he commented just before I went live. I saw his comment on YouTube, so I didn't actually manage to reply. I think his question was something like, in an ending diagonal, are all of the waves always zigzags, or can you also have the 5-3-5? Let me actually double check his comment here. For the ending diagonal scenario, can't it be a 5-3-5-3-5? And the answer to that question is a no. So in a leading diagonal, so when you start a new move, so a wave 1 diagonal, right? You have a leading diagonal. This is your wave 1. You can have a impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, rejection in a wave 2, which is of course a corrective structure, and then you continue. So you can have a 5-3-5-3-5, or in a leading diagonal, you can also have a 3-3-3-3-3, move down corrective wave 2, continuation. So you can also have zigzags. So a leading diagonal can have both. An ending diagonal can only have the zigzags. So an ending diagonal can only form with all the subdegree waves being zigzag structures or family of the zigzag, which also means double or triple zigzag structures, which likely is the case in this wave 4, being a double zigzag. So in this wave 5, we are then looking for, at the moment, a simple zigzag structure and then a 5-3-5 to the upside, a simple A, B, and then a wave C to the upside, where we're then counting a 1, 2, 3, still waiting on the wave 4, right? If this is your 2, we're actually waiting for a wave 4 over here to form. Then eventually you want to see a wave 5, hit resistance, hit some targets, and then a rejection to the downside, right? Now, what is very important, and I keep repeating this also to the silvers and in Discord in general, is, and that's my lessons that I've learned. I mean, hopefully people can use them in their trading or not, but no financial advice. But I do not catch knives, YOLO, FOMO. In Elliott Waves, I will always wait for a range to form, because the ranges give us the most information. An impulse is nice, but we expected a move to the upside, right? But it is the ranges that will give us information about what is happening next. So after a bit of a move to the upside and a bit of a pump this morning, what do I wait for? I wait for a range, because the range will give us more information about downside or upside. At the moment, it's very early, or and that's the second option. We get a rejection, a retracement, and then the rejection and retracement will give us more information about what is next. But the moment price is pumping, it doesn't really make sense to try and count the high and stuff, because you don't know, like, are we going to be in an extended wave 3, right? It can continue pumping, and then you're going to be trying to short and short and short and stop, right? And do we have solid resistance here? Yes. Is it short-worthy resistance? Absolutely. If you're scalping, like, who was the scalper here? Philip in the chat. He has a brilliant scalp. Followed his plan, followed his strategy, entered the scalping position, had a quick TP1, stop loss break even, whatnot. And, you know, if it goes down, he's great, you know? So, but he has a plan. From an Elliott Wave point of view, like, so that's maybe trading support resistance, or he's trading the point of control, or he's trading something else. But from an Elliott Wave's point of view, it's always good to wait for the ranges, and then eventually you'll get clarity on what will happen next, of course. So we just keep observing what happens, and we do have some bearish CVD over here, very, very locally. Point of control, of course, acting as resistance. Preferably this wave C will go a little bit higher, 1, 2, 3, as mentioned just now, 4, and then a wave 5, where the weekly naked point of control at 39k is very interesting. Most common target area for C is 1 to the 1.236, 39.2 to 39.7k. A less common target for a wave C, it's a target nonetheless, so I do actually want to put it on, is the 0.618, which we already hit over here at 38.6k. But you don't often see a wave C turning around. So therefore, it increases probability still looking for a bit more upside, to be honest. And we just keep an eye on the reaction. Now, the target area for 5 is this whole box, right? Which is where we are now, all the way up to 40.4k, where we have the monthly naked point of control. But that would invalidate an ABC if we go up here. Because a wave 5 is not allowed to be longer than wave 3 in a contracting ending diagonal. More bullish scenario becomes lower probabilities based on price action that we have here as well, because if you're looking for a 1-2, 1-2 continuation to the upside of some sort, then, you know, this should be your 3 of 3, meaning high volume, big candles. This resistance should be a piece of cake, and preferably you just push through it, which is, you know, as expected, it does offer resistance. You don't just go... yeah, it's not really... I keep an eye on the scenario, but at the moment it doesn't have the higher probabilities, right? Where we're looking for a big 3. And also, if we look at the whole structure, this is your big wave 3. After a double 1-2, you get your 3, right? And this is the third wave. And then here you would have a potential wave 5 that starts with another 1-2, 1-2. And that's very wave 3-ish behavior, not necessarily wave 5-ish behavior. So a little bit of a lower probability. And this one, I put it back on the chart just as an in case, because it's just about planting the seed, right? That people don't forget about the scenario, because, you know, it's still a possibility. So we have then the WXY, where W is a running flat, X regular flat, and Y looking for a flat again. Now, that's absolutely not common, right? Probabilities wise, and ending diagonal fits nicest, but we should at least not forget about the scenario, and that's why I like to show it, where here you have a wave A double zigzag, B is a zigzag structure, 3 waves to the upside, preferably finds a little higher, like price goes a little bit up, because we actually missed out on hitting this target area. But then again, based on local price action, preferably you still get a 4 and a 5, 4 wherever it is, little order block here as well, and then a 5 up. This area here is between 38.8 and 39.1. And then you're going to be looking for a move to the downside. But generally, we are now hitting some very important, also high time frame resistance areas. So I'm very patient, I'm very controlled, managing all positions, and, you know, I'm happy whatever happens, waiting for a range to form, waiting for a rejection, and then after we get a range, after we get a rejection, that is when we can again zoom into all probabilities. Now, more locally here, just a quick simple pull. By the way, I do want to remind, I actually removed that folder, but this move here, up, down, this was an 886 retracement. It's not common for a wave 2. And if this is another 1-2 move up, this was also an 886 retracement. And an 886 is not common for a wave 2. It's common for a B or a wave X. So there's always the potential that you have a flat going on here locally as well, where you have your wave A, B, C. Do not forget about that scenario. Funny enough, I didn't put it on the chart. Actually, I literally just thought about this one, but it is a very, very relevant one because you hit the most common target area for a wave B. I bet I don't even have to look at chat, and I didn't because you guys see my eyes on the screen. But in the corner of my eye, I see emotes being spammed, and I'm pretty sure that Flotty entered the chat. Now over here, I'll get to the chat in a second. This is your wave B target area. So you could have a potential A, B, and then a wave C, or an A, B, and then a wave C, right to the downside, as we do have still some support here as well. The blue box sitting between 37.2, 37.4, and just below the blue box we have also a monthly naked point of control at 37K. So don't forget about this one. I don't have it in my folders, but it's relevant. We see a nice little rejection here as well at the point of control. Now, this being a wave C structure, right? A, B, C, becomes higher probable, or more like the probability increase if you move below the 05 and hit this 0.618. Still a little bit to the downside, of course. I'm gonna say something else in a second because the highest amount of volume is in this candle. Okay, let's first do this. This is the Seyfert pool from this low to this high. If price is closing candle below the 05 or hits the 0.618, then this being an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is invalidated and we can expect lower prices. Now we are at resistance. I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the stream, we had a bit of bearish CVD divergences over here, right? Lower high on price, higher high here on yellow, right? And also, yes, also here, higher high on yellow. So there's absorption of market longs going on with limit short positions, pushing price to the downside. It's just an additional confluence besides having the point of control as important resistance, right? You also see some bearish CVD divergences here, increasing probabilities for a bit of a move to the downside and a rejection. So that is important. Now, when we talk about volume, preferably the highest volume candle is a wave 3. But if this is a wave 3, then all of the small ranges before should be like wave 2s, or you have a high volume wave 5, little less common. But if we take a fib from this low to the high, then you can see we are already beyond the 0.618. So yeah, let's see what happens here. We still have this as a little order block, basically losing this. Yeah, would be interesting, but we have a bit of a rejection, which is also probabilities, what we are looking for in general. And it's a solid area of resistance, no? Oh yeah. Oh, I still have this one. I just put a... I got a couple of screenshots from people in Discord about this scenario. Just watch the morning update. This is completely invalid. Right, you can't have a triangle in B here, doesn't work. Besides, by the way, if this is the end of your 4 and you're looking for a 5, a wave 5 cannot be an ABC unless your whole structure is an ending diagonal, which it is not. It's an impulse. So yeah, doesn't make sense, no? So we can remove this one. So yeah, very nice. Let's observe. Let's observe. Very, very nice. You love to see it when levels work, right? Like it's the level, at least a bit of a rejection. It's just nice. It's just nice. So yeah, that is from an Elliott Wave perspective what I like to say. We had a bit of bearish CVD up here. I've just shown you. So Probabilities. Let's then go over the probabilities of the different scenarios, shall we? So on the medium time frame, we had the bearish scenario. We're looking for a 5 finish and then a bigger retracement to the downside. Or we have the bullish scenario where we look for a 3 and eventually a 4 and a 5. The interesting thing between the two is that the move is going to be quite similar, but because in both of the scenarios you expect to move down, but after a wave 5 you can have a deep move down, and if you're still looking for a wave 4 it's not going to be as deep. But in both cases you're looking for a bit of a rejection, right? And a move to the downside. So it's quite difficult to know exactly which scenario has a higher probability at the moment. But if I have to make a pick based on the Elliott Wave rules, I would prefer the 111 here leading into like 45445, where you have one more high above the point of control, which can be a nice fake out as well, closing some candles and then move to the downside. Yeah, I think that would have the higher probability. More locally, we have the ending diagonal, the bullish scenario, 112 looking for a 3, or the bearish scenario in a flat B and then a move to the downside. Has to be said, by the way, that in this ending diagonal, which I think is important, this final leg to the upside in an A, B, C might not yet be finished, right? This could be an A, flat, B, and then a wave C to the upside next week, reach the target areas, fake out again above the point of control, and then see a move to the downside. But at the moment, the ending diagonal structure has the highest probability of those scenarios. Also, when you look at the just the volume in general is slowing down, so something to keep in mind. But seeing the height, like we hit the point of control here, that's very nice, right? Man, how many? Wait, how much time have we been ranging here? So for 20 days, 3 weeks, we've been talking about the golden target box. Jeez, finally we hit it. Man, I had to be very patient to hit this one. So yeah, nice. And yeah, now we just wait and see what price does. Nice little bit of bearish CVD, price moving down. Yeah. Let's put the target boxes on the chart. And go into chatting. One short second. Let me actually quickly get Telegram up and running as well here. And quickly have a look. Okay. Okay. What's up, chat? How are you doing? That's also, by the way, sometimes like people ask me about target boxes. By the way, I have a video about how I make target boxes on my channel as well, but it's called How to Avoid Analysis Paralysis, because it cleans up your chart. But besides Elliott waves, I do use other tools as extra confluence, like areas of interest, like the target boxes, CVD. Right? So, okay. Let's have a quick move up, see where we were. Dasa Gaming, how you doing, man? Gayu, bless yourself, eh? What's up? How you doing? What is the count on the sub-micro? Well, yeah, I just explained, right? If you're looking for an impulse, you want to see a wave 4 and a 5. But if you go below the 0.618, an impulse here is very, it's more likely in a 3-wave structure, ABC locally, or possibly still a flat. But a impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is still a possibility as long as you don't go below the 0.618 or hit the 0.618. And above price, we still have the weekly naked point of control. All right, Let me put these on as well. That's the daily. Okay, let me just put some levels on here, so you know what I'm looking for. Did this new high break out of the flag, or is it still bound by the upper trend line? Can you extend the ending diagonal line so we can see? Looks like we didn't break out from here. First of all, what's up, Rob? Mike Rob, so Mike or Rob. Now the thing with a wave 5 in an ending diagonal is it can undershoot or overshoot the trend line. So it actually doesn't really matter. Looking at the trend line for the high of a wave 5 usually does not give you a lot of information for the high of your wave 5. That's why I just drag the trend line so people can see the structure, but I don't pull the trend lines as a target for the high of 5 because it doesn't really. I don't, commonly a wave 5 overshoots or undershoots, but if I would put it on also depends what pivot you take, of course, as a high-low, but it does fit nicely with the upper trend line here. If you would take this one, then it overshoot just a little bit, but it's common to get an over or undershoot. So, yeah. But generally, I prefer to look at the subwave structure, which gives us a better indication. But if we would reject here, we could still have a local ABC and then go up next week again, reach the weekly naked point of control or potentially the daily. Likely the weekly naked point of control though. So then we have an A, then we get a flat, and then you get a wave C, weekly naked point of control, and then you get so yeah, basically ranging. I do enjoy ranges. So, Gravity Gaming, you are very cute yourself. Flotty, what's up? I already thought so. Kan je al een muscle up? Zeker. Ja, is absoluut. Het zou het zijn als ik dat dingen daarop staan. I can do about muscle ups. I can do 10 and 12 possible when I feel fit. I did leg day today. Yesterday was shoulder and arms, and the day before was core. So tomorrow is probably going to be rest day, or I'm actually thinking about a endurance day. So condition like running. The emojis come from the heart. Yeah, I see the spam. Joe Louise, how you doing? Martin, welcome as well, of course. Shivan Love from India. How are you doing? What's it like in India? I've never been there. 1,000 Bitcoin futures. Naderi, how you doing? Couldn't catch previous streams because of university. I know. My stream times, usually it's 1 p.m. during the day or in the evening. But of course, when streaming during the day, many people might not be able to join because of work. I mean, depends where you live in the world, really, of course. For Europeans, it might be a bit more difficult. What's the drop price? What's the drop price? What's the drop price? Well, I just did the whole analysis, which I think you may have seen. So then you know the areas of interest and what I'm looking for. Because this question is a question that absolutely 0 people can answer. Because it's all about probability. So no one knows what the drop price is going to be. Unless you go to the Moon Boys, maybe, because they always know exactly what's going to happen. But professional traders realize that's not the case. Just looking for confluence. Did the high react to the 1.236 or the upper trend line or both? Looks like both. So, yeah, so the upper trend line has been hit. Just shown that on the stream. And the 1.236 depends a little bit on the pool that you did. So we hit the the big 1.236 here, the green one, right? We hit this one, 38.7, taken from the high to the low. But also more locally, if you would look for a potential flat and you take a fib here, then you also hit this one, of course. So it depends what you're looking for, of course, in that case. For everyone that just joined, by the way, the Elliott Wave analysis from the medium time frame to the low time frame and what we look for locally here in this push up has been explained at the beginning. We're now in the chatting phase where I answer where I answer question. Muscle ups, okay, pull ups. I know. No, that's not gonna happen. Muscle ups. No, I was talking about pull-ups. Good correction there. A friend of mine can, by the way. He is insanely strong. He can easily do 10 muscle ups. But I'm happy with my pull-ups. I can't do a muscle up yet. I mean, I can do a muscle up because I've been training with him. But it's a muscle up where I'm not doing the technique exactly right. Like, what happens because I'm not yet having the correct strength in the arms to really naturally, once you grab the bar, to go up like this, right? So what I tend to do is once I go up, of course, like you push yourself a little bit away from the bar and rotate up, is that I tend to use my left arm and move my left arm up and then my right one instead of at the same time, if you know what I mean, right? So I need a bit more training still to get both arms up simultaneously without getting the, like, almost like climbing on the bar, if you know what I mean. Nice weather in India. Yeah, it's beautiful weather here as well, my friend. It's fresh, it's cold, it's winter, but man, the sun is shining. Looking for 100K as always. Only 100K? I think that in 2021 we were already looking at 200K and 500K Bitcoin, and the Moon Boys appearing on television and talking about, yeah, Bitcoin is going to 400K. Oh my. Oh. I mean, it's entertaining. You're not the only one that couldn't read everything, so comment. Relax. It's no problem. It's no problem. Of course, people are allowed to ask, but usually one message is enough. I tend to go through everything that's correct. But with the drop price, yeah, I already mentioned what I'm looking for locally, right? We're looking for that 0.618 or a bounce in a wave 4. Can still be a zigzag, no? So either you look for an impulsive structure. If you take a fib from the low to the high, toggle on your wave 4 targets. We're now at the 382. Maximum target, 618. Price does this. Impulse invalidated. Probabilities downside. Generally, like in general, we are now entering big resistance areas, right? So we are looking for opportunities due to downside in these areas here. But that means you need a plan, you need a strategy. Depending on your strategy, you know, you can enter like Philip did. You enter at resistance immediately and, you know, quick TP1, or in my case, I have a strategy where I never catch any knives anymore. Don't YOLO, don't FOMO. It will take a couple of hours in my case before I even consider entering, right? So everyone's strategy is completely different. And from an Elliott Wave perspective, the probabilities are at the moment higher on this time frame, looking at this range for the diagonal. However, if this would be your high and price invalidates an impulse, then I'd probably be looking for a flat and then another move up to reach the weekly naked point of control. That is very important resistance as well. So that's what I'm going to keep an eye on. If price does move up at least once more, we could go to potential wave C territory. Where is it? No. So yeah, so the potential. Crypto Hell, thanks a bunch for teaching me a lot. I love hearing those type of messages. Appreciate your message, Crypto Hell. Like, I really enjoy it when people specifically also mention they learned something, or you know, I've taught them something, or they learned some rules or things they didn't know, because it's an important goal of the channel. Besides providing updates, it's also about teaching, like what is common, what's less common, targets, pools, you know, all the stuff. So thanks. I appreciate your message, Crypto Hell. Pop alive. Relax, my friend. Calisthenics, yes. Like he's one of my groomsmen, and he's a strong guy. Like he I think he now does muscle ups with a weight vest as well. So yeah, he's a big boy. He gets stronger every time. Got to give you the routine for strengthening and conditioning that power. Yeah. Also, like, look here, I can't do on my power tower, as it's called. I can't do muscle ups because of the roof, right? Like, I'm gonna bonk my head. Gotta up my roof. Like I could put it in the garden, right? And then I can do stuff there. But I prefer it here because then during the day in the office, I'm like doing stuff, right? But I go to the gym basically every day. And if I'm not gymming, I'm going to go for a run. I went to the gym this morning and somehow they do not have a pull-up bar. Can you imagine? So I can't really, I don't really practice. If I go for a run, I live to a very, very, like a beautiful area with lots of water, a whole big park, and it's also a holiday destination on the other side of the water and the whole park, which is quite a big while. You have many tourists, which we don't see, which is nice. But inside that area, there is a free running park that they made with bars as well. So sometimes when I go for a run, I tend to go there as well. I run past it and then do some pull-ups, try maybe a muscle up, but it's good to do a bit of training. You said you used about 7 rules to enter a position. What's the final one, or the one that gives you the most confidence to enter? Or is it really dependent on the scenario? I mean, in the end, I need all 7 to have the confidence to enter. Because if wait, how many was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 7. The thing is, if one of these are not checked, I will not enter. So it's either all 7 or it's none. So everything that you see on my chart is stuff I use, right? Everything you see in the videos is stuff I use, but I just managed to put things together into rules and everything that eventually give me a trading strategy. So it needs to be checked. All of it needs to be checked, else I don't enter. And there's not really something that is most important, because it's the combination. And this is also, once you build a strategy, like what you want to do is you want to find individual tools that you enjoy using. Everyone's preference is different, right? Some people like horizontals that you see in the chart here. Other people like order flow, like TPO, trend lines, patterns, RSI, stochastic, EMAs. Find the tools you enjoy using, then build statistics on these tools, put the tools together, and because you already track statistics of the individual tools, you already know a little bit about what works with that tool and what doesn't, so you are going to make entry requirements now. You put the tools together, you use the statistics to make an entry requirement, an entry rule. Then you're going to build statistics on the combination of tools. And that is once you start, then you're going to tweak. So you might add something, leave something out, see what it does with the win rate. And that's how you try to build things together. But in the end, you will need all the boxes checked before you enter a position. I think actually the most important thing in my strategy is time, which isn't even one of the rules, but I made my strategy in such a way that I will never, ever, ever catch knives again. Because I've burned myself enough in the past doing that. So, but from an Elliott Wave point of view, there are areas of interest that can be shorted here. So that can be interesting. So an Elliott Wave, usually if I would put on an Elliott Wave type of trade, it can become limit order trade. So my strategy is all about market entries. The Elliott Wave setups can become limit setups as well. But yeah, after price is pushing, I prefer to look for ranges. There's definitely resistance here, but we don't yet know how price reacts, and we don't know if this move up is a wave C, potential 3, if it's a B, and then we, you know, so yeah, give it some time. Do you also make analysis for altcoins or only Bitcoin? On the channel here, only Bitcoin. But I do go live for silver sometimes, and then, you know, we do altcoins and stuff. And usually also on live streams here, we mainly talk about Bitcoin, and I get questions about it and all that stuff. So I don't really tend to go over many different charts. Also because of time, because Elliott Waves is very, very time consuming. It takes a long time to do a good Elliott Wave count, a solid one on a chart. And if I get a completely fresh chart, I'll probably very quickly be able to see what happens, but to give like probabilities and stuff, you usually need a bit more, like put time in it. So in the part, like in the gold membership previously, I did 3 streams a week, which based on feedback was a little bit much. So what we now did, we now have like 1 a week, but and it's more about learning Elliott Waves. But each Monday we had the coin coverage stream where I analyzed an altcoin, people voted for it, and then I went from an empty chart to a full plan. So people learn how to implement Elliott Waves from an empty chart, because some people don't know where to start or how the procedure goes into making an Elliott Wave plan from 0 to something. So that is when I then taught, and all those videos are still in the VOD list. But and I still do those things if in the stream that we do each week, feedback and Q&A, if people ask about alts and stuff. But usually I don't. But then that's the thing. Then I reserve time in my agenda to do something like this, because I don't have much time other than what I plan. Justin Chu, 100K. Whoa. No, 500K. How do you organize all your drawings? That's a good question, Fritz Thrower. I organize my drawings on the right side, right, to object tree. And let me shortly explain a little bit about the object tree, because as an Elliott Wave analyst, this is very helpful, because I don't like to have like 5 different counts on a chart of different time frames, and the daily and the I don't know what, like you have a weekly count and the daily and the 4 hour and the micro, and all on one chart becomes very messy. And messy charts lead to I have no idea what I'm looking at type of like analysis paralysis. Like, so what you see is a couple of horizontal lines. These horizontal lines are very, very simply these lines here. They're in the minus. So I literally just put this one, a horizontal ray, right? I click on here, horizontal ray, there we go. I title the horizontal ray, where can I do it? Rename it. And there we go. We have a new one, right? So this is how I create sections. So here, you know, I can turn them all on. Here's another one. Okay, yeah. So, and I always put them down here, so they're not in my way when I'm analyzing the chart. And then I tend to have sections per how can I explain this? The section at the top, like this is my target boxes, so I use it a lot, so I want it at the top. This is me like with my setups and trading statistics. Diagonals is something from a live stream recently that was explaining the new diagonal rules. I'll make a video about that, or cut that part of the live stream out, upload it separately. The news button, sometimes I drag it in when I want to talk about news. Sometimes I leave it away. Good reminder, by the way, that we do have news today at 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. Central European time. So make sure you trade safe, because it might be volatile at those times. And then this section here is always what I want to talk about in videos. So I go from the bottom to the top. This is what you see when I make a video. You'll see the scenarios I like to talk about, and these are the things that I keep an eye on. Usually there's lower time frame scenarios here, like 1 hour, 15-minute type stuff. Then we have some like a little section here where, for example, if I don't want to talk about bearish scenario or the medium time frame, then I drag the medium time frame scenarios in here. So this is like the save folder. Like, okay, I don't want to talk about it, or I'm not interested in this at the moment. I park it here. Then we have a section with the macro and high time frame scenarios, which I really only look at once a week during the video, 7 p.m. every Sunday, Central European time. Then we have some other very old scenarios I actually never really look at, but I still have them in a folder, you know, as a just in case, but they're incredibly unlikely, or I just have them for, you know, whatever reason, I still have them. I actually have no idea what this is. Very high time frame, bullish alternative, no clue. Then Elliott Wave trading scenarios, no trade. Okay, I think oh, that was for statistics. I think I can remove this. I don't use this anymore. So let me remove these, which means remove one line. Then we have the area with confluences, right? Other stuff I look at, point of controls and the levels. A range here, 22K range, which of course is completely useless now as well. Yeah, we can remove that one. I don't need that anymore. High time frame range. Oh, that's the same as I tend to show, so we don't need. I'm actually cleaning up here. And then finally, I have some like setups and statistics at the bottom as well. So yeah, this is how I organize my object tree. But from an Elliott Wave perspective, it's just very good to put your stuff in folders. So when you think about a scenario, put it in a folder, and then with a click in a button, you remove it. It keeps things so clean. Don't underestimate the power of a clean chart. It really, really helps. And it's for, especially for viewers. At least that's what I believe. At least, I mean, it's also the feedback I received, that people enjoy the way I present it. Some people say it's almost like a PowerPoint. You go through like slide, and each slide is a different scenario, right? But people enjoy it because it keeps them focused on one thing, one scenario, right? If I would do this, you have no clue what's going on here. It's messy. It's messy. So I like to go, hey, we have this scenario, I explain the scenario. We have this scenario, I explain it. We have this scenario, I explain it. Then we have CVD, as I always like to keep an eye on CVD and stuff. And then we end with the probabilities, which you find at the end of my video, based on the analysis we've done earlier in the video, right? So based on my explanation of the scenarios, we end with the probabilities based on the rules of Elliott Waves and which scenario works best based on everything Elliott Wave wise. We come up with a probability, and yeah, that's very nice, right? So so that is how I use these like things. So that's how I organize it. Umar Hayat, thank you for analysis, really helpful. Pleasure, my friend. Pleasure. Your Instagram ID, Koens Trading. I'm not doing too well on Instagram, not gonna lie. Oh wait, this is my YouTube. Nope. I have to look for like, of course I can wait. Oh wait, I was logged in my I have two Instagram accounts. Let me quickly go to the. How can I now go to the other one again? Oh, there we go. Let's see if it works. No. Lol. Well, usually it's in the on the end screen. I'm not too active. I'm very focused on YouTube. This is my Instagram. Wait, I get all these peeps. Koens Trading. a goddamn 109 followers. There we go. We passed the 100, everyone. But I'm not, I got to be honest, I'm not too active. If I'm active, I usually post stories, not really pictures, but we'll get there eventually. We'll get there eventually, right? Where you know, I show you a little bit more about what I do outside trading. I have to go to Riyadh as well later this month for a week. So I'll be in Riyadh for a week, and I'll take my setup with me, but I will then try to make some videos and some other content from the hotel, like live streams. But I will be gone for a week, and I can then put that on Instagram story. Yeah, so thank you, Andreas. Very kind of you. Hopefully people learn something. If you want to do muscle ups or pull-ups, all you got to do is add them to your routine. Yeah, I know. So in the gym, they don't have a pull-up bar. So for muscle ups, I would have to go for a run. And then it's between running. But I mean, if you do muscle ups, you're going to try them. If you do that twice a week, and then, you know, four days gymming, 2 days running, 1 day rest or something, and then running in combination with muscle ups might be something. What I suggest you do is this. Grab a bench, pull yourself up and work inverted. Yeah, I heard about inverted training. Same with the bicep curls. Like the inverting, like if you have a weight, right? Inverting movement are very good for muscle strength. Push yourself up with help, but work negatives. So holding yourself on the way down very slow. I see what you mean. Should take you at least 4 seconds. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'll try that one. Can you do something similar just with like the planking stance? Possible hero trade brewing. Justin, you're short, I know. Got to talk to you about this. I'll make you a video in the gym now in a couple of hours and I'll send it to you privately. Yeah. I mean, that's perfect. I'd love to see it. I know what you mean with the bench. Curious if you can do it in a plank, then I can do it at home as well. I mean, yeah, I don't really have a bench here. So, what's your take on the future of crypto? That's a good question. The thing is, crypto hell, that I don't know if this is like, it's quite, I suppose in a way, quite, it's not Dutch behavior. There's many Dutchies that are probably interested in this, but in my case, I don't really have an opinion. So what I do is I simply trade the asset, which in this case is Bitcoin. But I don't really care about crypto and, you know, all the stuff. I see it as a way of earning money. So I don't really know, you know, future of crypto, where it goes, blockchain. Now, wait. Now we hit things that I do like to follow, like. Because I'm already involved in the gaming and esports industry for 17 years, things that are related with that industry are things I pick up, like blockchain technology, NFTs. We had a period when they were a couple of millions and now they're literally 2 cents again. But I do know trends and what's happening, and I follow it. And I see the potential of like blockchain and stuff, and the companies build on top of blockchain. But I don't really have too much of like an opinion about the industry itself, let's say, where it's the same as with Bitcoin. I really do not care if Bitcoin goes to 100K or 10K. Just because I see it as an asset I trade, and I can trade the asset at any price level. And it's all about percentage moves, which Bitcoin does well because it moves quite nicely in percentage. So I don't have an intrinsic value to the asset. I'm not, sometimes I guess people say it married to the asset. So I just see it as a product, which has, of course, a certain value, maybe long term. in where the world is going. So future of crypto, you know, if the banks eventually fail and money as we know it is going to crash at some future moment, then I think crypto might be in an interesting position to maybe do something. But that is all very hypothetical, of course. So I have a strong interest in trading, which for me is almost like playing a game. I have an interest in crypto, blockchain, you know, NFTs, gaming and esports industry as a passion. Of course, already for a very long time. And I keep an eye on everything. But I don't really know where I see the future, because I don't really think too far ahead in time, I suppose. Some people ask me, what do you think the ETF will do? And I'm like, when is the ETF? Oh, no, wait. No, not the ETF. People ask me, what's the halving going to do? Where do you expect price to be around the halving? And I'm like, I don't even know when the halving is. Like, I don't know. I have no idea about halvings and... fundamentals. Completely clueless. But I also don't need them for my trading. I'm 100% technical. But yeah, it's a good question. It does make me think, you know. Look, just like with the gaming industry, I think crypto will never disappear. It might change in appearance, but it will not disappear. So you have companies that come and go, FTX come and go, and other things that come and go. And of course, you'll have problems along the way, and there will be a crash. And everyone's like with FTX, there's a lot of drama and la-di-la. But just like with any like industry kind of, where the highs become higher and the lows become higher as well, every industry will have lows. You know, gaming and esports industry, past like 2 years now after the COVID problems, had a difficult time. Layoffs, you know, Face IPO going bust and different. But there will be new highs, which will be higher than the previous highs. So I think crypto has a very rich future. The only question is, you know, what will the position of Bitcoin be? Will it be there? You know, Ethereum, Solana, and all the other stuff, like maybe Shiba Inu is going to be the currency of the future. Who knows? Yeah, interesting. How often do you take trades with your strategy? If you got a lot, if criteria, sounds like rare entries. Well, there's a couple of diamonds here in the group, and they also trade altcoins with my strategy. Oh, by the way, it makes me think. I think I have a picture of Jarvis. Yes, this is Jarvis, his statistics sheet. With so he's a diamond member, and in November here, oh wait, you can't see November. There you go. In November, he took 37 trades on the B plus, and then a couple of A and a couple of A minus and A. And his well, you can see it for yourself. I personally do not trade B plus, A minus, A or A plus. I use the simplified version. Which is basically only looking at the B plus characteristics and entry rules. Yeah, I mean, this is, so he trades Rune, Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, but he's going to remove Rune because he doesn't really like how Rune is moving. He told me last night during our diamond chatting session. So yeah, 70, and based on my statistics, he has a similar win rate based on my statistics that I already had before diamond was even live. The win rate is exactly the same. Like, so yeah, that's good to see. But he uses it on many different, you know, like at least many different. He uses it on 3 now, different charts, and other people in the group use it on even more charts. So, I mean, it really depends on you. Bitcoin will give you between 8 to 20 trades a month, depending on the month. But if you look for more, then you just check more charts, you know, check some other coins. Funny enough, I still had that one open. Oh, I got it. I'll check the tag later, everyone. So, yeah. Bitcoin short scenario. I mean, one can always short anywhere. But at the moment, support on the order block. around the 382 as well. We had some bearish CVD here at the high a little bit, but this already played out. And the main thing is what I like to wait for is a range or a rejection. And then eventually after, so even if you get a rejection, eventually you're going to get a move back up. And based on the structure of the rejection and based on the move to the upside, that's where we can assess the best probabilities again. In general, right, we're looking for a high to be made. But yeah, point of control, nice little reaction. We also have the weekly naked point of control, the daily. From an Elliott Wave perspective locally, what makes sense is to wait for a range or a solid rejection and then a retracement to observe the probabilities. When you go up in the time frames, that is when the ending diagonal is very interesting in an ABC, right? ABC. Wave B, if price would turn around here, then you could have a flat and a move up again in a bigger ABC. But yeah, diagonal, very interesting, where you overshoot the trend line as well. If your wave C would be a little bit higher here, right? You don't want the 1-to-1 to be hit in this particular scenario. And on a medium time frame, you know, putting in a wave 3-5, like blue 5, green 3 soon, look for a rejection, potential 4, and then another move up in 5. Currently has a little bit of a higher probability for me than the bearish scenario where you put in a bigger 5, right, and you go for a deeper rejection. So of course we continue to observe what price wants to do, but yeah, and this is the thing, you know, price, what are we doing? Higher highs and higher lows, right? Yes, volume is diminishing. If you zoom out, the volume is starting to slow down and stuff. But from an Elliott Wave point of view, I will always wait for a range to give clarity, right? Like we push to the upside, eventually you're always going to get a range and you're going to get more clarity. Push to the upside, you're going to get a range, right? Over here, maybe people were like, fuck, we go for a wave 3, we go down, and then you go back up. And you know, I like, even if you go for an impulse in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you always get you get this, right? And then based on this, you get a quick move down, then you get a bit of a range here. And based on this range, we get probabilities. And then we look for that move down, right, at that moment in time. So, and then, yeah, whatever happens here, we observe price action again. That's why I do 3 daily updates. So I can keep an eye on what's happening and update you at the same time. So, yeah, eventually I'm just waiting for another range, which will give us the best insights. But if we zoom out probability-wise, yeah, the ending diagonal and the medium time frame, another 4, another 5 has higher probabilities. I'll just watch Eurosport. Yeah, Tim, man, you're lazy. He's a friend of mine. Crypto Hell. Hey, last question. Can you please explain a bit about the 333 combination? Yes. The 333 combination is a 333 WXY, also known as the sideways double combo, where your wave W can be 2 structures. Wave W can be a zigzag, or wave W can be a flat. Your wave X can be anything, any corrective structure. Most commonly it's a zigzag. And then your wave Y can be a zigzag, can be a flat, or can be a triangle. If wave W is a zigzag, wave Y cannot be a zigzag. It can only be a flat or a triangle. If wave W is a flat, wave Y can be any of these 3, right? The target of wave Y is the 0.618, the 1, and the 1.236 trend-based fib-extension of wave W. That's the common target, and the most common is the 1 to the 1.236. But if we have a bit, let me draw a little bit of a price structure here. So if we have your W, you have your X, you have your Y, Then you take a trend-based SIP from the beginning of W to the end of W to the high of your wave X. You toggle on your wave Y target area here. This is your most common target area for Y, a little bit less common, but still a target you have to keep in mind. And this one is more rare, less common, this one, the 1.618 for wave Y, right? When we think about a triangle in wave Y, then usually, this is an interesting area of support because then you have an A, B, C, D, E, and then you continue again. Wave Y does not have to end below the W, by the way. That's an important rule as well. Wave X is commonly a zigzag, but can be anything, right? And this wave X can retrace all of wave W and even more. You can have a wave W, a wave X, and a wave Y. Right? Looks like a running flat, but it's not. Because this is a three-wave structure. Wave Y is a three-waver. In an expanding flat, we're talking about a 3, 3, and a 5, an impulse. So the moment you have this structure on the chart, you will often see me do this in videos. I don't explain this in detail, of course, in the video. But you will see me do this. I will have both the WXY and an ABC on the chart. Because it depends on like the move to the downside if we're in an ABC or a WXY, right? Also, wave C is only allowed, or wave C should be shorter than the time of A and B together. So wave C is not allowed to be too long in time, while a wave Y can be long in time. So yeah, different little things going on there. Yeah, wave X minimum target is most, usually the 0.382 of W. So if you have a W and then an X and then a Y, or wait, W, X, and then eventually you get your Y, whatever it is, triangle, whatnot. You take a fib from the high to the low of W. Oh, that's the wrong one. I need the standard one. Then your 382 is usually a minimum target for your wave X, which is also here my wave X combo. There you go. Commonly, a wave X goes at least to the 05. The 886 is also still common for a wave X, and wave X can also go above the high of W, which makes it also a very difficult pattern because you never really know if you go into a WX, you don't really know what the high of your X is going to be, which means you have to observe the sub-wave structures of wave X to get a better idea of what's happening. And based, like if this is your W, let's imagine your W is a zigzag. If you now get a wave X here, we have to observe what wave X is forming to get the probabilities of where it might end and reverse. We don't have a clear target area for X because it's so big. So it takes more skill of the Elliott Wave analyst to figure out the target for your wave X. So hopefully that will give you a little bit of clarity on WXYs. This is the sideways double. Oh wait, the triple. Okay, I mean triple tree. Lol, this was the WXY. The triple tree. Sorry, WXYXZ. It's actually, honestly, it's like almost the same. Almost. So we have a WXYXZ. No. He's talking about a combo, which then is a sideways structure, right? WXYXZ. Now, in wave W, Y or Z, only one wave is allowed to be a zigzag structure in a sideways triple combo. In a sharp triple combo, where each wave is like I'm already talking about, but in a sharp WXYXZ, we're talking about a triple zigzag, where all of the waves are zigzag structures, right? So that's a big difference. Here we're talking about a horizontal structure. Now in this scenario, it's the same. W, zigzag, flat. Y, zigzag, flat. Z can be a zigzag, flat triangle in this case. A triangle can only be at the end of the move here. Wave X anything, but in this case, your wave Y is most commonly around the 1-to-1 of W. So not the 0.618 to the 1.236, but most commonly around the 1-to-1 of your W. So from the high to the low of W to the high of X, toggle on the 1-to-1, and that's like the common target area for your Y usually. It's still you still have 0.618 to the 1.618, but probabilities slightly change. The problem is This is a very rare scenario. And the moment you have a W potential 3-wave and you get an X 3-wave, then you're not going to think about an XZ yet. You're only going to be looking for a wave Y. And after Y, you then continue corrective in an X, and then, so this is very rare, and only after Y is in and you get a corrective X, you might consider W, X, Y, XZ. However, I would then prefer looking for a wave A, B, C. I'm usually preferring a flat. If you get corrective structures to the upside after Y, a W, X, Y, XZ is very rare. So what I then prefer to look for is this being a wave A. A W, X, Y cannot be a subdegree count of wave W or a Y. That's not allowed. So if we then bounce correctively, I'm usually looking for an A, B, C, and then a flat structure, either running, regular, or expanding flat structures. And only after an X is in, and you might, that's when we consider a Z. But usually you only go to an X and a Z if all of the other stuff fails. That's when you consider scenarios like these, basically. If you want to, by the way, know more, I have 2 links in the description. One is this website that I'm opening. The other one is this website. So these are just public websites for just to learn. Just read through it. Also the beginning here, just take a bit of time to read it so you know what these pictures mean and the colors of the fibs that they show. Lots of info here also about the triple zigzags, which is the sharp W, X, Y, X, Z, but also here about complex combinations, 333 sideways combo, rare, right? So yeah. So you can read through this as well, basically, right? So here's a bit of double 3. A triple 3 is the same, only 1 zigzag and then potentially 1 triangle, of course, but still W is not allowed to be on. So X waves in a triple 3 can be any corrective pattern in addition, which can be incredibly complex, right? And then here, triangles are only allowed to form in the final wave of the combination, as explained just now, which means wave Z. So you can read more about combos here, and then the other website you'll see is EWTF, TF, right? And then you go to combination, and you'll find some more info. Also time, they do a bit more with time as well. So yeah, you can check that one out. There you go. A little bit of educatie. Geloof je dat Geert goed is voor crypto in Nederland? Oh, ik zou het niet weten. I have no idea if Geert is good for crypto or not. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I didn't read, I'm not too deep into politics. So pleasure, Crypto. I'd love when everyone says this is bullish, so I will be the minority. No, I mean, in the end, we are looking for a rejection at a given moment. Average is 1 trade every 2.1 days with only Bitcoin. Everyone hates ruin. Yeah. Lucas is one of the Diamond members. He also keeps track of his statistics. And he trades my strategy with 10% risk because based on statistics, it's a very good percentage risk. Now, personally, I do not. But he has done very well with that. And I think it doubled more, almost doubled the account or something. Pretty nutty. But apparently every 2.1 day, we have a setup on average. Yeah, not bad. That's exactly considering the right statistics. Togatoni, what's up? Togatoni, could this ending diagonal be the ending of a 5-wave pattern from 24.9 as wave 1 within a 3? Yes, that is a possibility. That is correct. That would be the medium time frame bearish scenario that I have here. For me, it has a little bit, just it's close, but a little bit lower probabilities compared to the potential go for another 4 and a 5. just to create a stronger, like you wanna create massive greed and FOMO, and the moment you get the massive greed and FOMO, that should be the turnaround point. Grab the liquidity. People think they're missing out. That's the moment to like turn around. And I think also in that perspective, it would be interesting to then have another 4 or 5, get a push on high, like a bit of higher volume, like an impulsive structure, and then. But in both cases, we're looking for a rejection at a given moment, right? So we're keeping an eye on the resistances. Can you name all the simple corrections? Simple are zigzag and flat, yes, and a triangle is also. I mean, simple officially is the like you would say simple is zigzag flats. That's most simple. But in the book of Elliott Waves, when they talk about a WXY, they talk about only simple corrective structures, and they talk about zigzag, flat, and a triangle, because Y can also be a triangle. But wave Y tends to, can only be a wave 4 in an impulse. If we talk about an impulse, it can only be a wave 4 and not a wave 2. So zigzag flat is correct, and arguably a triangle is also simple. Yeah. CVD one-day structure is absorption. CVD is best used on the low time frames. It doesn't really work on, like the 1 day it just goes down. It literally, it doesn't, it's, you can't use this. So I do not recommend, with CVD, in my CVD video, I explain as well, like you want to use this below 1 hour. I use it on the 3 or 15 minute. 15 minute is my favorite, and then 3 minute for quick reactions to see what's up. So for example here, lower high, higher high on the 3 minute CVD, right? Bearish CVD divergence while hitting the point of control, price moving down, nice. So so those are the 2 I use, but I don't recommend going above really, like. That's when CVD starts to lose its magic. Hello, are you taking questions? Correct. Not too long anymore because we're already live for 1.5 hours. I can't wait. Maybe I can show you. Wait. Wait. Come on. Stay. Damn it, he's out. So in the garden we have this big tree, and there was a cat. Sometimes this cat, I don't know where it comes from, but he likes to hunt for the birds in the tree. It's difficult for him to get cover because it's winter here now, so the tree is empty, like it loses its leaves, but he was in the tree, like climbing the tree, going for the birds. He didn't catch anything though. Thanks for answering. Last question. On average, how long are you in a trade position? Let me quickly have my statistics in front of me. So one second here. Up. OBS, where you are, there you are. Uppa. So this was my previous alteration of the strategy. I innovated it in August and September. That's when I tweaked it. So I got a new sheet, but the time doesn't really change. But I don't really show the new sheet yet because still building stats there. But duration of a trade, if a winner here is, I mean, see it for yourself, right? So usually six hours to just over a day. Yeah. So how long does it take for trades to form? 88% of the cases, it takes longer than 4 hours. In 58% of the cases, it takes over 12 hours, and in 34% of the cases, it takes over 1 day for something to form. So Buenos dias desde España, Madrid, gracias. Welcome, Broncos. How you doing? Eh? Good to see you. Corrective X, yes. How are you doing? Can you tell me a bear count from now? Yes, but I recommend going to the beginning of the video where I went through all of the scenarios, including the medium time frame bearish one, which is this. Local bearish one, either looking for a B and a C flat or the ending diagonal, right? And then locally, the bear one would be this, not being a wave 4, as then you're going to be looking for a 3-wave structure to the upside, and then you want to see price going below the 0.618, pulled from this low to this high, else you get a 5-wave structure. So those are, but I go more in detail in the beginning of the video, which was where the analysis, the magic happened. I can see the wake. Yes, 39k in others. That is true. How do you do to see it? I can't see. Oh wait, you can't see the weekly naked point of control at 39k. It should be the yellow line that's extended. Can you send me a screenshot of your thing? Because I shared the template. Oh wait. Atos templates here. So you have to use this one, right? The second daily, weekly, monthly, like actually weekly, monthly naked point of controls here, and they should extend. So yeah, should be very easy to see usually. So let me. I'm curious what you see. Card Crypto, have a nice afternoon, mate. Joshua, welcome. Which price targets do you have in mind if we break down out of the ascending support line? So when we think about the medium time frame, in this case, right? So when we are looking for the high of a 5, this ending diagonal, so in this case, the ending diagonal, potentially that's your 4, and then your ending diagonal is 5, right? You take a fib from the low to the high. You toggle on the wave 2 targets if you're looking for the most bullish scenario. Because in a more, so I made a high time frame video. I do it every Sunday, 7 p.m. Central European time. So you can check that out. But in the bullish scenario, you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and you look for continuation. So if this is your second 1, and you're going to be looking for a second 2, your most common target area is the 05 to the 786, which is at the moment, with the high we just made, 31.8, 27.8. Now, preferably, however, you're not going to lose this area, this support resistance area. So the 05 would be the best together with the 382, I suppose. 382 is a less common target, but a target nonetheless. So the support resistance area here, the white box, very important on the high time frame, this area. As you can see over here, right, played an important role. So 31.4, 32.6, and the value area low of the volume profile of 2021, 31.3, which acted as resistance, can act as support. So it would be a simple support resistance flip to the downside. But of course, I like to take things level by level, but we'll get to the target boxes in a second. If you go to the bullish scenario, let me actually clean up. It looks very messy. Then we're looking for 4 and 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 diagonal in your final wave. Then in your 5, then you're going to be looking for a 4 to the downside. Target area. If we open the target boxes, there's a couple of things, but let me actually go through the, what do we have here? We have a weekly naked point of control at 34,450, which is interesting. So that's something to look out for as well. A couple of dailies. Where is it? A couple of dailies here as well. But I like to use target boxes, but I'm basically waiting for price to eventually top a little bit before putting some more target boxes on. But if we zoom in, right, it's level by level. So we are now at the golden one. We're currently rejecting a little. Yeah, I mean, these are of course like 34.3, 33.7 to 8. The 05, it has a confluence with the key level on the 1 hour. So areas of confluence. But once we get a bit of proof of a solid rejection, that's when I'm going to update the target boxes with new info. Yeah, this is a solid one though here, 34,450. So yeah, those are some of the levels I look for, but also locally, right? Before we reach those levels, if price moves to the downside, that is. Because of course there's also scenarios where we go down here. If you look at this, in a potential flat ABC, in a bigger ABC, hit the weekly naked point of control and move down. Your first area of support here would be 37.2, 37.4. Monthly naked point of control, 37K is also good support. So, you know, I tend to take it level by level. But the target boxes that I show in my videos and that I talk about in the videos, those are my main areas of interest, like the main areas that I keep an eye on as support or resistance. Your YouTube is growing fast. Yeah, it's like, so I don't really know what's normal, but I don't really tend to look at the numbers. I just really try to provide the best videos I can, and you know, if people like it, they'll sub, and if they don't sub, or many people probably only just watch. Even though they are not subbed, they do come back all the time, as I do myself as well, with some other not crypto related channels where, you know, you come back and you watch videos, but you're not necessarily subbed. But yeah, if people enjoy it, they can always, they're free to subscribe. And since the 20th of February that the channel is live, it's like, honestly, it's been crazy. Like, I never expected this. Like we got to 5K in 9 months, from 0 to 5K basically. So yeah, that's quite a surprise. And YouTube wasn't even one of my, like, the goals I had for this year. I had trading goals, but I didn't have YouTube goals because I never thought I was going to launch a channel. So, I mean, it just happened to go that way, and here we are. And I really enjoy it. So, yeah, it goes quicker than I expected, but it's all because of you. And again, I don't really look too much at the numbers because I focus on the content. That's my priority. And people know where the sub button is on YouTube. You know, if they want to sub or become members, they know. And if they just enjoy the content, that's fine as well. Many people comment always on videos as well. So far, I commented on almost all comments ever. So try to keep up that streak as well. But yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. So yeah, never expected this to happen. Hi, random dude from the internet. What is up, other random dude from the internet? Sometimes I say this. Yeah. How you doing, Vitalian? Sent to you on questions, the screenshot. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, it's the yellow line. Oh, wait, what's... Oh, my man, you got to go to the daily time frame. Go to the daily time frame. You're on too low time frame here. Because you want to go to the daily time frame and zoom out a little, because you need to, it needs to load the week where the point of control comes from. If it hasn't loaded the week, it won't show it. So you need to zoom out and go to a higher time frame, and then it will appear. That's what the thing is here. Ronald Kumar, thank you, welcome, man. In the stream, enjoy the videos. That's what I like to hear. Thanks. What is the golden level? It's just an area of confluence where mainly that point of control showed earlier of 2021. This one, important. And the weekly naked point of control, which is this one at 39K. I mean, technically it's just above the box. But yeah. It's just an important level because of the 2021 point of control there. Whatty, how you doing, eh? What's up? Joshua, thank you. I appreciate your sub. You are now then. Let's see, how many are we now? 5,219. So you are 5,219. Still early. Still early, because oh boy, are we going to continue this, eh? Let's see. I mean, the year almost ended. No idea. I don't really have any expectations for the end of the year. I guess we're going to end the year like 5,000. 700, 600, 700. I think that's probably an estimation of I guess the numbers. And then we'll see how next year goes. But you know, I just focus on the quality, and the rest is just numbers. But the support is amazing, of course. I don't focus on the number, but I focus on the viewer. Which is you. Also in Discord. That's the priority. Like if you have 10K or 20K or 50K, as long as the content remains solid, listen to feedback, focus on the community. That's important. So yeah. But it's incredible. It's crazy. Like actually my fiance took me out for dinner to celebrate the 5K. She's very good with that stuff, because I tend to not really celebrate certain achievements, I suppose, but she likes to stand still at these type of like things, achievements, YouTube or other things. So yeah, she took me for dinner. Tim, I'm your #1 follower. Yeah. If you include in real life, then you are probably the #1 indeed. That is correct. I don't know, since when do we know each other? Like, shit, it must be high school. I think I was probably around like 14, 15 years old. So, no, wait. No. Not 14, 15. I think more like 15, 16, 16-ish, I guess. I mean, I'm now 31, so, you know, 15 years ago. I think I actually think a little. I think it's more than, I think it's 16 or 17 years that we know each other now. So, yeah. Oh boy, long time. Long time. Muy buenas, Mr. Kun. Muy buenas, I guess. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Avon Mouville. Welcome as well. Good to have you here. How are you doing? So let's see. Locally, we took the low. Nothing going on still. Nothing going on. Just give price some time. 1, 2, 3. And because it took the low here, you either got to think about an impulse, or you come down. Wait, did it take the low here? Yes. So the thing is now, if this is an ABC and you wanted an impulse up, you don't want this low to be taken, which it did. So either you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correction and down again, or you have an ABC. You're going to be looking for corrective structure and then another move. Just because you took the low, it increases the probabilities to come back later again. Or you get a WX and then a Y, where you don't have to take the low because Y doesn't have to take the low of W, but it would increase the range, basically. So, yeah, interesting. Okay, everyone. We've been online for 1 hour 50 minutes. It is time to for me to work on some other things that I had in my agenda for today. So I'd like to thank you for hanging out, spending time with me on this Friday afternoon, at least Central European time. It is afternoon. And let's see. We're going to get into the weekend. Might get a nice weekend range. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Jay, hello, my man. I have your AGR CVD set up, but I think I screwed up and changed the exchanges. Oh, you have my template, like the CVD template. You can just re-download it in Discord. In the good to know channel, but the blue line is the aggregated one and the yellow line is the Bybit BTC USD one. The only reason I have that one is because in the past when I started on Bybit and then we were in a bull market, so I traded USD and that's why I used the USD CVD, and just because I got used to it, I still use it because I know how to read it. But you can of course have any other CVD line. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, everyone. I appreciate your attendance. Jay, if there's any other questions, make sure to write me in Discord. And yeah, wish you a good day. 7 p.m. Central European time. I am not sure if I can provide you with an update because I have a business meeting in Rotterdam at 8 p.m. So probably I can make an update, because I have to leave I think just after 7, so I should be able to make the update. Yes, I also put it in my plan. So what am I talking about? I'm planning to make the update of 7 p.m. before going to the business meeting that I have. So very nice. There you go. There you know. There you know. Okay. Thanks for watching. I'm going to catch you very soon in the video 7 p.m. Central European time, and else maybe live during the weekend. Let's see how things roll like. Right, so keep an eye on what price does. Trade safe. As always, don't forget the news at 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. Central European time in a couple of hours. And yeah, catch you on the other side.